What up, good people of the internet? Welcome to Blerd Grounds, where us African American black nerds come together to talk about nerd shit and black shit, all for the culture. James can't be with us tonight, so I'm taking the helm for him. My name is Travis Tucker. My first co-host I'll introduce, the doctor in the house, brother Aaron Jones. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. Sunday, going into another freaking week that I want to end already, but hey, it is what it is.
Right. And our social media manager Andre, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing great. Smashing this cheesecake, living life.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Not dying of a fire.
Must be nice in Ohio.
Yes. It's just chilly today. It was really chilly today, so I'm hella blessed.
Man, it was 108.
Man, I do not envy you.
It's not much you can say after that. Like, okay. 108.
Man.
Glad you're still here with us.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. And then our newlywed, Marcus, how you doing tonight?
Well, soon to be, not quite yet, because Kobe was being a hater. Kobe was being a hater, trying to be like Dwayne Wayne on A Different World. But it's it's all good, man. The smoke's clearing up a little bit. Hopefully the fires are getting under control. We've actually seen some nice days lately. So I'm doing good. I recently moved, getting a new spot together, so I'm doing good, man. I'm happy to be with you guys.
Cool. Which reminds me, Aaron, Marcus, were you guys close enough to be in the Red Sky Apocalypse?
Yes.
Aaron was, but I wasn't, because in Southern California, the fires didn't hit us as hard.
Yeah, I'm in Southern California as well, so I ain't seen nothing except for on the internet and such.
Right. Our skies just look like doo-doo water.
Yeah, it looked like, I always make this reference, but I have seen the Blade Runner, comparisons.
I
haven't seen the new movie, but my frame of reference is that part of T2 where Sarah Connor is looking at the people in the playground, and then then the shit just hits, and that's what the sky looked like to me. Okay, that didn't really.
No, I completely understood that reference.
That
didn't really hit the
chain link fence. Screaming at all
yeah, and then she was going away too.
It used to scare me as a kid.
Yeah. And now it's reality, so that was. It's been jarring. It's been a little jarring, but it is what it is. It's better. It's getting better now.
For sure, people need to stop using explosives to tell everyone the gender of their kids. Get cupcakes,
Please.
Amen.
Eat some cheesecake.
That part.
Get the cheesecake, man. It's
it could be blue or pink, depending. All right. So tonight's a Sunday, and for those in the know, it's the Emmys tonight, and it is just brimming at the edges with black excellence. We got a lot of awards tonight, fellas.
Yeah.
It's pretty dope.
Most definitely.
Like Issa Rae, I'm rooting for everybody black.
It's funny. I usually think these award shows are pretentious and dull and stupid. But whenever a show I like or an actor I like wins, I'm like, yeah, hell yeah.
Right?
I do the same thing.
It's a validation of things that you like, other people liking.
Exactly.
Right. And with Watchmen winning so much this year, it feels like a bigger impact considering everything Watchmen did visually as the show just went on. Especially with that first scene in Tulsa, so many people learned about Tulsa from that show, so it definitely deserved the best limited series tonight, for sure.
100%.
1000%.
And the individual actors that won awards from the show, for Regina King and Jones. I know this is your frat, so you're going to have to help me pronounce his name.
Yeah. I'm doing my team.
There we go. Boom. Man, that was perfect.
Yeah.
I'd
Him
have
winning.
effed that up for sure.
Facts.
Yo.
Him. No disrespect to my man, by the way. Whose star is on the rise? The prices of brick is going up. Shout out to The Wire. But him winning Best Supporting Actor. So
So good.
right.
For blowing up Klan heads as Dr. Manhattan.
Exactly.
And that's what's so meaningful about this too, is that like it wasn't like Denzel and Halle Berry winning things where it's kind of like they're great actors and everything, but like why would they win it for that? Like for Training Day and for Monsters Ball, but like this is something actually that has a lot of substance and like we mentioned before, kind of revealed some historical things that are always kind of hidden underneath, and yeah, like, and it was dope. Like they're all like dope things,
It's double meaningful for me because, like what you said, Aaron, it's Black people in powerful roles that uplift Black people and are not like stereotypical or them being evil. Even though I would like to see more Black villains in genre stuff, that would be dope. But I understand exactly what you're saying, and also it's like I just said, it's genre. It was a superhero TV show, a comic book TV show. So for it to be both those things put together and it still gets critical recognition, like that's dope. It's dope. No, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
It just kind of proves to me that this movement that we're all pushing is gaining steam, is gaining momentum, and it's just going to keep going forward.
Yeah, I think I saw that it was the first comic book related series to get this kind of recognition. So that's another It's another notch in the belt, man.
Comics tell real stories. It's not just the superhero beating up the bad guy and saving the damsel in distress. They tell real stories.
Right. And I don't know. I find it wonderful that we're seeing people that look like us in fantastical roles. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like I'm tired of watching Roots and 12 Years a Slave. I want to see us as glowing blue people blowing up racists.
I don't need to see Janelle Monáe wake up in a slavery matrix. I don't need to see that.
Right. So it's so great to see like Regina, like she's a cop. She's not just a cop. She's like the lead detective. She's the shit at her firm. You know what I mean? Oh, that whole show was so great. They earned every bit of that.
Yes. And Regina King has been doing it for decades, and she's just now getting her recognition. Shout out to her. Now she's directing movies.
Right. People still are learning that she was Huey and Riley when those are probably internal voices for their own personal lives.
She was in Boys in the Hood.
Yup.
She was.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
She was in Boys in the Hood and Friday.
And Friday.
She was in Boys in the Hood and Friday.
And a thin line between love and hate. She's been in some Black classics.
Yep. Sure. An up-and-comer who won tonight, Zendaya, won for Best Actress in Drama for Euphoria. I don't know if you guys watch Euphoria?
I haven't watched it, but from what I've heard, what she had to go through in that series, even though I know it's not really her through it, but from what her character had to go through in that series, from what I've heard about that series, she better have one.
Right. It's a trippy show. It's trippy, and like, I had to like watch it in like short bursts because it was like some intense stuff happening. Like I was like, oh, damn.
I heard there's a lot of pieces.
Yeah. I tried not to remember that part. That's just me. Yeah. But no, a lot of drugs, a lot of sex, a lot of overdoses, and all kinds of things. So
yeah, I've heard it's a tough watch.
Trigger warning to anyone who's interested in seeing violence and all kinds of stuff. So, but for the act of for the point of like seeing actors really act, and me sitting and trying like believing it, like oh, this is actually really well acted, like yeah, deserves every bit.
Homegirl gotta share that Disney image at some point, and I'm glad that she getting her shine. I ain't seen it, but I've been rooting for that girl ever since I saw her on Disney Channel. So props, mad props.
And I've been rooting for her ever since the pushback she got from being in Spider-Man.
Man,
I've been a big fan of hers ever since.
Don't start me on that conversation, because I had that conversation with people. It was dumb.
It's very dumb. It's very dumb.
I was ready to fight niggas. Pardon my French. I was ready to fight. Like, y'all not about to do my girl like this.
But she keeps winning and she keeps rubbing it in their faces, so it's all good.
It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
Damn right. And then another right. Well, I don't know if she's really rising star. Everyone fell in love with her with Orange Is the New Black. I'm gonna pass her name to Brother Jones because I don't want to butcher it. Because she plays Crazy Eyes in Orange Is the New Black.
Uzo.
Yes.
Yeah. Pretty dope. I haven't seen that series, the one about Shirley Chisholm, right?
Yeah, I guess it's a
Miss
series
America.
about like a lot of historically important women from that time period. So, but yeah, I didn't hear much about it. I think it wasn't even on FX. It was on Hulu, right? Like FX little corner.
I didn't know what
Hulu
service it was on.
Exactly, it's a little confusing. But to win for playing such an important historical figure, that's dope. So congratulations to her, definitely.
That's huge. That's 4 slots for all the best mains and supportings. I'd love to see it.
Yes.
It's overdue. It's overdue.
Right. It was definitely a black wave at the Emmys.
Hashtag Emmys so black.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't Nicole Byer, didn't she host the Emmys?
Did she?
I think so. She went from girl code to hosting the Emmys.
Girl, go ahead.
Right.
Okay.
I think she might have won too for her Netflix show.
Even better. She funny as hell.
Yeah.
Right. That needs to be verified, so don't quote me on that, but I think she did. And I don't know if this might go down as controversial, but can we address Mr. Chappelle?
We can.
What they've done?
His kiss my ass acceptance speech.
Uh-oh. Hit me with it.
So pretty much he won for his last stand-up special, and he pretty much told the critics to kiss my ass. He pretty much rubbed it in his face. He told them, and I think his exact words were, "Shut the fuck up." So, and we don't have to go too much on his tangents. I know we got stuff to talk about tonight. But Dave Chappelle is personally my favorite comedian. And I think he's hilarious. I think he's the smartest comedian alive. And I think he knows how to toe that line between comedy and offending people. Because he's smart enough to kind of reel it back just enough. But at the same time, I can't ignore people saying that they're offended by some of his jokes. So it's kind of something I struggle with. But I think he's so smart that he kind of addresses that head on. And I think for some people, he comes off as an asshole. But I think at this point, he kind of is what he is. So I'm interested on what you guys kind of feel about him.
I mean, I've always loved his comedy since like the Chappelle Show, his stand-up where he talks about Bill Clinton kissing a little black baby. I'll never forget that. We knew what you want when you came here. The chicken. I don't know. He's kind of where my sense of humor came from, like that shock and awe, but still
exactly
makes you think type of thing, you know. And so, in today's much more awake and tolerant wave, it's harder for him to exist because there's less cut and dry going on. But I still have mad respect for the doors he's kicked down for a lot of black comics behind him that came.
Right. And
Yeah,
also,
for me,
no, go ahead, Aaron.
yeah, I was just gonna say for me, I likewise really appreciate his comedy, and I think he's pointed out things that, and I think what most really good comedians that are really thoughtful and needed do is point out things that maybe we're thinking about or like we don't really know enough about, and he looks at it in a way that gets us to think or to realize something that is obvious but no one can really put into words. And I think what him and other comedians are angry about is that people there are groups of people, um, and it could be any one of us. Comedy is so subjective. Um, there is no universal comedy. There is no person that's funny to everybody, and there's nobody that can tell a joke or tell a series of jokes without potentially offending someone. And like I think it is kind of disappointing sometimes when he's really dismissive of it's a joke, nigga. Why are you mad? Like because people have used jokes or snide comments to justify really terrible things in our history. And we can't ignore how that happens, right? But because he makes his living off of telling jokes, it's like, how can you take me seriously? But also listen to me when I'm saying something that's serious but kind of funny too.
Right, you can't
So
have
it's
it
just
both
like
ways.
this. So yeah, it's this weird line that him and a lot of other older comedians are getting mad. We can't tell jokes like we used to. Yeah, and you also can't string black people up like you used to too. Like sometimes there needs to be change.
Right, sometimes change is for the better.
So it's I can still laugh at him. He's not someone that I necessarily cancel, but like there's some of it that you want to take with a grain of salt. I don't think it's the same thing as making the comparison of a deplorable human being like a R. Kelly or a Bill Cosby. Like fuck Bill Cosby, and
Straight up.
fuck R. Kelly.
Straight up.
Because they're a whole another level of trash human being. But yeah, sometimes for me it's just like, damn, shut the fuck up. Get to the next joke.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Pretty much where I'm at. That's pretty much where I'm at. Jokes are subjective. Some are gonna hit, some are gonna miss, but don't necessarily dismiss those people that don't think the joke is necessarily funny or it offends them. Like Dave Chappelle is the funniest black comedian that I'm a fan of, but sometimes I'm just like, bro, calm down. It's okay.
Right.
Agreed.
Didn't go around not pissing people off. That's how I view it, honestly. Like our Diogenes.
Right. And also for me, I think one thing that people should kind of pay attention to that I think was glossed over, I don't think it was in his last stand-up, but maybe the ones before that, where he was saying like, because it kind of reminded me of how I kind of came up, but he was saying, I make fun of you because I see myself in you. And I think people don't really understand that part. And because kind of like how I grew up, and I'm sure a lot of people grew up the same, is we joke around with our friends. Sometimes it goes to the limit, but we do joke around. And the difference between us being comfortable and not being felt comfortable to make. If I don't feel comfortable making fun of you, you're not someone I feel like I'm 100% close to, or someone I want to be around a lot. But if you're someone I'm close to or I'm around a lot, hey, we're going to be firing off jokes, roasting each other. Yeah. So I think that doesn't really happen as much today. Maybe it's for the better, but that's just something that I identified with.
Me too.
Yeah, I feel that. If I got mad at all my friends who made fun of me, I wouldn't have no goddamn friends. So
exactly.
Shoot, I went to a wedding with one of my friends. He threatened to send me to the Children of the Corn because the house we were renting was right across the street from a cornfield. So he's like, Andre, you can sacrifice. I'm like, nigga, what the hell?
No.
I had to make the distinction. Either I have shitty friends or I need to lighten up. It's one of the two.
Right. I had to grow a hella thick skin. I'm like, yep, you right. I might die, but it's okay.
I'm gonna take one of them motherfuckers with me though.
Right. I'm gonna start swinging them kids around.
Right.
Oh, it was funny. But yeah.
Randomly, what's something else that makes me happy too is when I'm looking for places to find the podcast so I can send it to people, and whenever I see the the advisory, the like explicit E over ours, or like the warning that says that like be careful who listens to this podcast, I'm like, yeah, that's us.
I'm pretty sure a lot of
that's appropriate.
I'm pretty sure a lot of that came from because our first season I was wilding a little bit. Think back to it.
a little bit. You always kind of threw a charge in a couple times.
Yeah. James was like, please.
Dolomite and Uncle Luke.
Yeah, James was like, please don't cuss this much this episode. It was like, all right, motherfucker.
Hey, man,
to the point where he was just like,
just gotta talk to them neckbeards though.
Oh yeah. No, that I don't regret that.
Right.
Hey, that Terminator was fire though. They're wrong.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Hey, man.
All right, so on to the main part of the show. So we got to early screen Lovecraft Country. We talked about that not too long ago. Now we're gonna go over the episode since the rest of y'all are caught up in the world. So to start off, man, the first episode kind of says, even in the title says it all. The title is Sundown.
Man, the first episode, if you weren't like, for us to not know what was coming next, we would think that episode was just how the whole series was going to be.
Honestly.
And the tension from that episode all comes from the racists. The racists in that episode are scarier than the actual supernatural.
And that's crazy though. Like, you think that you see a monster right in front of you about to eat your head off. You think you put any type of prejudices aside for like the one night to survive, and you still holding the gun to my head. Like, bro, there's a vampire right in front of you, and he was like, yo,
he's biting his head off. Shoot him! Like, oh my god!
No.
It's like, no, that's still pure Aryan blood.
And niggas, you about to learn here in a second.
Yeah, that was really like
the whole thing.
Like,
yeah, that's
I feel like even though that moment was weird and crazy, like I feel like that moment was just as real as the historical part of the Sundown Town part of it. Like the fact that he wouldn't, take the gun off them while the vampire monster thing was chopping off someone's head. Like, that was so real, and I don't think like other people will, like, if that has not been your experience, you can't recognize how real that is and how real that would probably be if we were in that situation,
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I remember reading there was a decent amount of backlash for that episode because a lot of course, color redacted folks were like, "Oh, this is not how I remember the '50s." It's like, oh, okay, sure.
Yeah. Ask my grandpa about the '50s. He'll tell you.
That's not the '50s you remember.
Right.
Keep your time machine yourself.
Right.
That's why it's always funny when you hear these MAGA hat wearing assholes say, "Oh, let's go back to the 1950s when America was great." And I'm like, who was it great for?
I ask that question every single day.
Right.
I hear that.
To the good old days.
And shit, we didn't even have Wi-Fi back then. to the 50s.
So,
Oof.
No, I'm going
I
back
think
to the Roaring '20s. That was a party.
Oh,
Yeah, they
and
was dancing
also,
their ass off back then.
and also mass lynchings and race riots. So sorry,
Yeah.
sorry to
Oh yeah,
ruin every decade is ruined.
yeah. That was
Right.
that was Jim Crow era stuff.
And
Ida
man,
B.
I'm down for a good
Wells talking
race war
about
as long as I'm
lynchings.
alive.
just seems like a guide with a dude with a kufi. Like, you hear the roar? The roar is all of our neighborhoods burning down. Not so fun, is it?
Right.
Shit is real.
Anyone else fall in love when they saw the racist ass sheriff with a giant wound in his arm?
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, oh
that
yeah.
That was that one thing in this episode that I was like, yeah, because you guys are the real monsters.
That I love that, and I just love the effects in that episode too. It was amazing, especially on a TV budget. They really did a good ass job.
Yeah, they did.
Those whatever the hell they were, those things were disgusting.
Yeah, we don't even know what they are. We don't even
Right.
know. We don't even know.
I guess in
And I
HP,
totally forgot.
from what I've read up on in HP Lovecraft mythos, they have a name, but it was and kind of hard to pronounce, so I kind of forgot what it was. But like those are,
Vampires?
I guess they're similar to vampires, but it's like some HP Lovecraft like type shit.
That's what the uncle and Atticus called them. They
Right.
called them vampires, and that's when they
They're-
realized that sheriff was going to change.
Right, they're pretty much like akin to vampires.
Probably some zombie vampires or some shit.
But I don't think vampires take a chunk out of you like they.
No, those are 30 Days a Night vampires.
Right, right.
Yeah. Letitia
Right.
fucking Lewis was a bomb. Was the bomb, man.
She had the best line of that episode.
Yes, she did.
Get the hell out of this town.
Yeah, yeah.
We gotta get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Fuck out of here,
That's the line of the episode.
man. If I can't use that line in real life, fuck outta here.
And Journey Smollett is having a hell of a run this year.
Oh,
She deserves
dude.
it.
She's killing it.
Right. Say what you want about Birds of Prey, but she killed it in that. She's killing it in this, and I know it's just going to lead to bigger and better things down the line.
She gonna win an Emmy next year. Bet money.
Oh yeah. At least nominated.
I actually kind of like Birds of Prey. I know that
I loved it.
so many people hate it, but
without getting into too much of a discussion, I thought it was alright.
like, yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't the greatest thing ever, but like, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
I would have liked less Harley Quinn and more Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They shouldn't have put them together. They should have been separate movies. But I'll go on that rant another day.
Right. All right. So on to episode 2 when they wake up at the Braithwaite estate. Woo.
Hey,
With
moving on
clean
now.
clothes. Yeah.
Judy Side.
That's another thing that's really great about the show. And I like as we were watching the preview episodes, I was like, are they really gonna use this music? Please, can they really use this music and these voiceovers? And I was afraid that they weren't gonna do that. That it maybe was placeholders or like, I don't know. But like the fact they really used it, I was like, yes.
See, I kind of
right.
disagree there because some of the music is too on the nose, and it kind of throws off my focus on the episode. Like, and we'll get into that as we talk about the other episodes. But like hearing like Cardi B, and I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Maybe the anachronistic things. Maybe the things that are anachronisms, which are like the out of time things. That's kind of weird, but like the Whitey on the Moon,
oh yeah, those are dope.
The Jeffersons and
aspects,
some other stuff.
Yeah.
The spoken word aspects are definitely dope.
I fell in love with
James
that Whitey on the
Baldwin.
Moon segment. That shit was just so good.
Yeah,
It
Gil
was
Scott
good,
Heron
but-
is dope.
It was good, but I
Afterwards.
was so confused during that scene.
With
Yeah,
And I think a
Still
lot of
confused.
people, I think a lot of people watching that's kind of, it turned them off a little bit because I think a lot of the critical, like the first episode got like damn near universal. The second episode is where people kind of got turned off.
Yeah, I can see that. The second episode was a little slower and a lot headier. It was a lot headier. Like, you had to kind of look deep. Like, they were dealing with magic Illuminati. I think I was thrown off when it was, her name's Christina, the daughter, Braithwaite.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
She was like, are you guys the clan? She goes, oh, honey, the clan is too poor. I was like,
I love that line. I love
Yeah,
that
I was like,
line.
oh. It's like, oh.
I love that line.
Somebody
But I think that
said it.
also goes, the pacing in that episode is all over the place too. Like they just wake up with no explanation. There's really, and I know some of that's done on purpose because it's revealed more towards the end of the episode, but that episode's kind of hard to keep up with.
Yeah, honestly, it is. You kind of got to do a lot of inferences on your own as you're watching it to make a lot of it make sense.
Yeah.
It really reminds you that, and I haven't read the book, but I can imagine that a book would do something like that, is to have a part where things kind of, are disjointed and sped up, and like there's a lot more exposition and, things not revealed that will probably be revealed even later down the line, right? So I appreciate the way that it's strung together because it's enticing me. Like, if you read any of my comic reviews on the site, it's like if I can predict exactly what's going to happen, I'm not interested. But if I'm like, well, what's going to happen next? Where could you take this possibly? Or where are we going? Because I know this is episode 2 and there's 10 episodes. Like, what is going to happen? So that pulls me in personally.
Right. And I have
Same
heard
here.
the book is equally disjointed like the TV show. Like the book kind of jumps around too. And it's also crazy that the book was written by a white man.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't that the craziest shit?
Right.
Ugh.
But shout out to him, man.
Right.
Yeah,
I think
Matt-
one thing that really kind of
Matt
had
Ruff?
me shook.
Rough Riders. That's his name, Matt Ruff, I think.
And it's spelled like the Rough Riders too.
Right,
like,
it is.
It's
Double-
RUFF.
Damn.
You think this is a fucking game?
Oh, jeez. Yes.
That's a good one.
Bro, so like, other than what we learned in episode 5, was anyone kind of shook up by the Braithwaites? Like, Dad Braithwaite had me kind of messed up when he was talking about Adam put everything in its place. So I was like, ooh, this is a real racist motherfucker right here. That's him.
Yeah.
Oh, right. And I was just shook. I couldn't get over the fact niggas was eating his liver. Like, he just served his liver on a platter.
Man,
and I'm like,
yeah.
is a liver big enough to really feed all them people? Like, is everybody just having slivers? I had a lot of
Probably
questions
not.
about that. I had a lot of questions.
I already don't like him. Like, you know how like you see some actors and you're like, nigga, I don't like you. Like,
Yeah.
Well, he dead. He dead, so we don't got to worry about that.
Right.
you know.
But at the
Like,
same time, it leads me to. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Aaron.
No. Yeah, it was the same. I just don't like him from Scandal. Right. But go ahead.
I was about to say he was the president, so I was like, oh, yeah, I don't like you either.
Yeah, he was down with the swirl on Scandal, right?
Yeah, for many a season I was following that show, and I was just like, that's a whole nother rant for another day too.
So
I'd love to talk about that.
Olivia
But-
deserved better.
I could be wrong because my feeling about this show is death is very. It's not like it's not finite or finite or how do you say that?
It's
Death isn't final. Fuck it. Death is not final on this show. I don't. So we have our first major death in episode 2, which is Uncle George. Is it George? Is that who it was?
I think it was Uncle George.
Yeah, Uncle George, which really confused me and pissed me off at the same time. So I'm like, they got Courtney Vance. They only gonna have it for 2 episodes.
Look, I knew he was gonna die when at the beginning he couldn't get out of bed with his wife. I was like, oh, they about to kill him.
Yeah, that is
He about to...
definitely a storytelling trope when we get a lot of exposition on a supporting character and we get insight into their life.
They took a lot of time, like, oh well, maybe next time I can go. I was like, damn, we really digging this knife in and twisting it, huh? He's about to die.
The Walking Dead is the king of doing that shit.
Oh, absolutely.
You making us feel all the things. Oh, here, hey, Dad, here's my picture for you to take on your trip. I'm like, oh, come on.
A comic book character for you to read.
I was like, oh, come on. And then,
he dead.
And then later, it was on the phone. Like, I was like, come on. Like, you are not going to survive the end of this shit.
And they kill him when we some shady family history with him and Tick and Montrose. So it was all, I was like, what the fuck? What's going on? But my thing, I feel like he's such a big actor, and this is such a high-profile show, and it seems like death isn't really a final straw in this series. I feel like he's going to come back in some shape or form.
Absolutely.
I feel it.
I believe it.
All right. So on to episode 3. Now, episode 3 I got like a weird story with that because I've been watching the show with my mom, and we put on episode 3 and fast forward a little bit to when Letty already bought the house and they were having the party. My mom was like, "This is how black house parties were when I was a kid. All the kids are in the basement playing together." I got this whole feel. Like,
was they playing with the Ouija board too?
Yeah. No, they weren't playing. They didn't fuck with that shit. I don't know who kids were doing that.
Your mom was having a flashback.
I was about to say they for ages 8 and up or some shit. So.
But yeah, this was one of the highlights of the season for me because it was just a straight up horror story. It kind of reminded me of these like horror gems you would find on Netflix or Amazon Prime that you haven't heard about and you watch and you're like, oh shit, this is dope. Those are like I just love the whole vibe of this episode. And the black people having fun and partying and not giving a fuck about what white people are doing. Type that I love that too.
Yeah.
But can we get and I actually Travis, I'll let you take the lead on this, but can we get to the Easter egg of this episode that a lot of us didn't catch at first?
Oh, okay. So when the kids are in the basement doing their thing with the board, one of the kids asked, "Am I gonna have a good time on my trip?" And that was a huge, like deep cut to Emmett Till, who was murdered on his trip.
I did not catch that.
Also from Chicago, they're in Chicago, and yeah, man, that was and also they were talking about Martin Luther King upstairs at the party.
Oh yeah, they were talking about some preacher from Atlanta or something like that.
Yeah, they said, oh, Michael King, they call him. He's called Martin now. I thought he was going to get married to a white girl. It's like, oh, they had him marry this light skinned girl. So Martin Luther King's his actual like real first name is Michael, and they changed. He got his name changed because his dad changed his name. His dad was Michael King too, and they changed their name, and that's kind of like a little known thing about Martin Luther King that's like not his real name, and like actually the FBI in their counter intel pro thing against Martin Luther King tried to use that as a thing against him, that this sleazy slimy preacher from Atlanta, that's not even his real name, he's using a fake name, and like they were trying to like use this to like sow discord against him and stuff like that. And also, they were sending these memos about him having, some illicit parties with women and having affairs, and some of them being white women and stuff like that. So that was another little nod that was mentioned in the show.
White.
And just regarding the Emmett Till Easter egg, he actually had on the same outfit that Emmett Till wears. If you go back and look at historical pictures, he has a similar outfit.
Holy shit! I gotta pull that up right now.
Right. And Emmett Jones, am I saying this right? Emmett Till is from Chicago, and the trip he's talking about is going to Mississippi, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right. I remember that.
Okay, yeah. So he's actually in his hometown. He's getting ready to go on the trip because he has family in Mississippi, and unfortunately, we know the history with that trip.
Mm-hmm. And that woman still gets to walk around free.
Right. But
she admitted.
My whole thing is and I'm not a very religious person, but I do believe you'll get yours in this life or the next.
Karma gonna get her.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But I just love the straight up horror vibe in this episode, and some of the imagery is so striking and so jarring. Like Baby Head Man, like that is stuck in my head.
The woman with no whole bottom jaw had me fucked up.
Yeah.
And wasn't there didn't they put a grown person's head on a baby? Didn't they do that too?
Yeah.
All that, just super creepy. And
all
Journey,
the movies that I wasn't supposed to be watching as a child that my parents let me watch.
And Journey was probably the standout of this episode too. How she got fed up with them white folks and took that baseball bat and went full Beyonce.
Yeah, let's talk about that scene real quick, because it was the whole party. It was a good ass time, and then suddenly they literally saw a burning cross in the front yard. This is the 1955 that every black person remembers.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember watching it, and I was kind of in awe because it was this whole the level of having each other's backs and was striking. No one left the damn party. They immediately got the guns. Letty went out there with a bat. They didn't say nothing to Letty. They let her do her damn thing. They just went out there with the guns to make sure no one got fucking stupid.
And they had a whole system. They had a whole system too. So when they did what they had to do, they got rid of the evidence and they assumed the position.
Right. And Ruby drove right the fuck by those cops with a whole arsenal in her trunk. Didn't care. Didn't know. Didn't matter. But they all put their hands up, got on their knees because they knew what the cops were gonna do. But they got to do what they wanted. They needed to do. Yeah.
And we learned that the cops in that area are super shady and connected to the cult that is attached to Tick's, family legacy.
Yeah.
But
that was wild too. Oh.
And we also see a early resolution of the will they won't they between Tick and Letitia. Which I always love when shows don't drag out the romance subplots. Please don't drag it out. The CW is has a big problem with dragging this shit out. Just get to the point. Either they are or they aren't. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But I just love how it led up to that because you see Letitia having a great time, dancing at the party, and Tick's just staring kind of creepily, actually, when you look at it. She's kind of being a creep, but you can tell, even though she's enjoying herself and dancing, they don't break eye contact. So something is there.
Yeah. What is with old dude that keep, hey, what's up with her? And we used to do all this stuff. Dude, chill. Back the fuck up.
Niggas, I hate dudes like that for real.
Niggas lying on their dick is as old as time, I guess.
And that's a part of what annoys me, but it's also why are you talking to me about it though? If you really want to go and talk to her, go and talk to her. If you're better than me, you'll retrieve.
He's insecure about his shit, and he knows they have a connection, and he's trying to get in the middle of it. But he failed.
Shit. Right. And we continue to learn why he ain't shit. Yeah, later on.
Right.
Yeah, he is not shit at all. He ain't never gonna be shit at this point.
Right. But
period, point blank.
yeah, but it looks like him talking, he might not be the only one, but him talking led to Letitia having her reputation, which turns out to be completely false when we see them have their, first
Entanglement?
right, encounter, sexual encounter.
Well, the first actual one.
Right.
Instead of just make believe and then you pull your pants down and there's a snake coming out of the dick.
Right. Oh yeah, we forgot to talk about that. That was creepy
that
shit.
was wild. I forgot
That
about
was
that.
That was some crazy shit.
I had to
But
pause
yeah,
it and call James. I was like, yo, for real?
This show is intense.
It turns out Letitia was a virgin and all of her quote unquote history was made up by people just talking shit. Which is terrible that women go through that and they still go through that to this day.
Wow.
And then so after that, I think my favorite part of this episode that we really don't get in horror ever was the incorporation of black magic as the savior.
Right.
Yes.
I was in love. She was putting blood on the door frames. They were doing the damn thing. they summoned the racist ghost of whoever built that house. Like, get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah, the racist scientist.
Yeah.
And the ghosts help her get him out. Usually the ghosts are trying to get the person that lives there out, but the ghosts help her get him out.
And then that helps them out by coming back to like their normal selves.
Exactly. I love that part. That part actually got me a little choked up seeing like them go back to normal and they're all united.
They can rest in peace.
Right. It was beautiful.
It's pretty dope.
Man. I choked up a little bit.
Yeah, same.
That was honestly where Journey like completely won my heart when she's like just completely exhausted from all this shit, in hand with all these ghosts, like, get the fuck out of my house. I was like, yes.
Oh, also let's not forget the racists who broke in and met their untimely ends.
And then the house buried him in the basement.
Right.
Yes.
Thinking they had the upper hand.
We gonna break into this black girl's house.
They got Final Destination. That's what they got. That was
man.
Yeah, that one dude lost his head to the elevator. He looked in the elevator, said, "Shoot, it's mine."
Other dude got fried by the heater.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man, those movies always come back to haunt me.
Yo, I'm so glad those movies then didn't have the gore of this particular part, like when the dude's like final heart pumps are coming out of what's left of his neck. Shit was wild.
Man. They deserved it.
The gore, when they want to be, that show can be, Lovecraft Country can be extremely gory.
Mm-hmm. That's that HBO money.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Right.
That's that HBO money for sure.
That's that HBO money. For real.
Hey. All right, so then episode 4, I don't know, that seems to be a theme for 4 and 5, but as soon as we get into episode 4, Montrose is fucking up. Already.
Oh yeah.
Already.
I like to call this episode Indiana Jones and the real niggas doing real shit.
Trademarked.
Shit is real.
Use that as the episode title for real.
Because it really and this show a lesser show could not shift this much tonally and still be good. But Lovecraft Country manages to balance. Now, some episodes might not reach the quality of others, but it still remains like at least compelling and entertaining. Because this episode took like an action adventure vibe.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there was a lot less horror going. Like there was still its horror elements, but this was definitely a more of a like an archaeological kind of thing that they go.
Definitely, like on
the vanishing bridge. Even when they had to like figure out in the museum like how to open it up and the vanishing bridge, and then the figuring out opening the door, like.
It was definitely on some like National Treasure, Indiana Jones. If you want to talk about video games, some Uncharted type stuff.
Yeah, like Uncharted is a good example for sure. And like I don't know about you guys, but I got this like when I was watching this episode, like the vibe I got was like I really need a movie that is National Treasure, but with black people using Black history.
I would love it.
Yes.
Oh!
I need it. Like,
Yes. Like
TV
you know
show,
that
TV show, movie,
you know, like
video game,
that that episode of SpongeBob where he's like, "I need it."
Right.
Like, yes.
I don't need water.
Yes.
Like super fantastic too. Like we're gonna get Mansa Musa's fortune. Like I need that.
I'm taking notes. I'm taking notes, fellas.
Right. Hey.
We's gonna be rich.
Right. Yeah. Hey. Let's get over.
Get them copyright.
You're right. Who needs to take a screenwriting class? Let's do it. But speaking of Montrose, like, man, this dude, I know his childhood was fucked up, but it's like, god damn, like, you are a whole, and you're a fuck up that's a murderer, but go.
Right.
Your whole adulthood is even more fucked up than your childhood.
Right, you going on an adventure with your son, and you're blocking him while you're adventuring with him. But also, who knew all that shit was under a museum in Boston? There's a whole fucking cave system under there.
Oh, the catacombs and shit. Yeah.
Right.
That must have been hella hidden from the construction workers.
Right. Like some people like, oh, what's down here? Oh.
Can't find them the next day. Bobby, where you at?
But I want to kind of touch on like probably jarring, a little confusing, and a little shocking part, like the final minutes of the episode where they were alluding to what is the founder of the cult's name? I know it's Breath. The last name is Breath.
It's Titus Braithwaite.
Titus, yeah. So
the big
Titus, I guess,
dude.
Yeah, Titus, I guess, had on some Christopher Columbus shit, like was exploring and found like this Caribbean island, and I don't know if I guess you could say he enslaved them and used them to help him like carry out whatever the fuck it was. The realm of Adam or whatever, and for some magic shit happened, and these people were pretty much mummified. And when Tick and Montrose and Letitia find them, like some magic shit happens again, and one of them comes back to life, and she is, I guess, identifies as Two-Spirit. And they're all shocked. Everybody's shocked. She's shocked, like, oh shit, I'm alive. They're shocked, oh, who is that? And it's just so like, what the fuck is happening?
I'm shocked. I'm shocked. From, like,
bones.
Right. And so Tick is.
I was saying I was shocked too, just to see her whole body just reanimating. Like, whoa.
Yeah, that was some crazy shit.
That's some HBO money.
Right. I was just about to say. Once again, the special effects are like fire. And Tick sees this as an opportunity, like, oh shit, she might know his secrets. We came what we got, what we were got it. And Travis, as you were saying, Montrose be fucking up.
Montrose is fucking up, man. See, and what kind of pissed me off about that is that it seems like Montrose has a very, like, from when they were talking about the knots and shit. You remember that? That shit had me shook, honestly. He's like, we had to tie up the horses, and for any time a horse got out, they got beat. If my ancestor walked off that plantation without a mark on his back, I loved that shit. And so it kind of hurts me to see Montrose like doing this to Tick with such a deep reverence for his own history.
Exactly. I mean, you could say Tick not only got his love for reading from his uncle, but also from his father.
Right. They're both well-read people.
Right.
Very.
and he's knowing secrets and he's knowing answers that is saving their lives, like knowing the way to open the door, and he not saying shit.
Right. Your son could have died, like a fucking boulder could have crushed him or some crazy shit. And you'd have been like, oh, I could have fixed that if I wanted to. But the part, and it's become kind of controversial, but Montrose, to kind of continue to sabotage Tick's mission to find out about his heritage, he slits the character's throat. The two-spirit character that magically came back to life. And this episode got some criticism because of that, because they felt like it was pretty much needlessly killing off a member of the LGBTQ plus community instead of like giving them a voice to show what. And I kind of understood that, but was also kind of frustrated by that. Because I'm like, yeah, it was kind of needlessly killing off a character that was just introduced. But two, it was like, with this show, you never know what's going to happen. So I'm not going to make that strong of a judgment on this show without knowing what's going to come next. Because it seems like, depending on the episode, week to week, scene to scene, you don't know what the fuck's going to happen.
Absolutely.
Right. And she was just a zombie like a couple minutes ago. How do we know she's really dead?
Right.
Yeah, that too. But then that kind of shoehorns. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's the type of questions that we need answers to.
Right. Okay, so shoehorning us into episode 5 is literally right after Montrose, I'm assuming, got rid of her because there is blood in his fingertips.
I think so.
Sitting there drinking, and I'm pretty sure, didn't he light the pages on fire too?
Yeah, that was the beginning of episode 4.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'm talking about the.
Because remember, and he had a hell of a quote in that part too. When he set the pages on fire, he said it smells like Tulsa.
Oh yeah. Whew, I remember that.
Sheesh.
Wild. So he's drinking, blood still on his fingers. I'm assuming he's drinking because of the shit he just did. And Tick comes up, and Two-Spirit is gone, and I let her go. I let her leave. And Tick, understandably, after he's been questioning whether his dad's there to help or not, just damn near beats him to death.
2-piece and a biscuit. Beat his ass.
Rightfully so.
Right.
Oh yeah, that was the ass whooping. Oh yeah, she kept him from killing him, because that ass whooping was a long time coming. That was all the pent up frustration from his father's criticisms. It's alluded to that his father beat him, like Montrose beat Tick, like Montrose's father beat him. Because we do know that child abuse is passed down by generations. You know, if you were beat a lot as a child, you're likely to beat your kid down a lot. Now, it's not 100% true, but studies tend to show that happens.
Yeah.
So that aspect of it was a lot of pent up frustration. And I know we'll get to it later, but there's like a huge Tick quote that kind of gives us some more exploration of his character and his relationship with his father that happens later in that
episode. Fucking up, man. Just fucking up.
Yeah, Montrose be fucking up as a film.
Ain't nothing else really to say. You just
right.
fucking up, bro.
Right.
Ass whooping deserved.
Right. And then to further Letitia not taking no shit when Tick was still like, when they got Tick off of Montrose, and Tick is still coming down from all the fucking adrenaline and testosterone pumping through his knuckles. Fucking Letty rolls up with a bat because she's legitimately terrified of him at the moment. I remember that too. That shit kind of struck me.
Oh, right. Yeah. And we got to remember, he was possessed 2 episodes ago, so she don't know what the fuck's going on.
Right. That's true. Like when you first, I like the way they shot that scene. It's basically like, you know, the stare down, and then he's just like, okay, I'm not gonna fight with you, and nothing like that. but it's only because she had the bat in her hand, like that she was ready to, beat his head in.
Right. I do not
know.
think she would have hesitated. She would have hesitated.
No.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get to the real star of episode 5. Miss
Ruby.
Ruby.
Yo.
And you know what?
Ruby.
So the episode starts with her. Well, not her. Like, we don't even know who this person is. This white woman just wakes up.
No, we saw her. She's the white woman that had the whistles for the crazy vampires.
Oh, that's right. She was like the quote unquote sheriff.
Yep.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Which is deep. It's like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, why? What's happening?
Where you come from?
And that actress is starting to get around. I remember seeing her in Jessica Jones. She was the little, the prostitute who gave Malcolm a little extra attention.
Yeah.
Right. She was. I just saw her. I was watching. What was that? The action movie where Chadwick was a cop.
21 Bridges.
21 Bridges. She was in that randomly. I'm like, I'm seeing her everywhere.
Get your shine on, girl.
Right. So this white woman wakes up. Something odd. She's freaking out. Walking down the street, not recognizing herself. Gets a for just being white. Like that shit. I don't know how you can like that where you make one false dead just for accidentally bumping in.
Like, you ain't gotta protect him. Like,
right.
Like,
that's an impossible.
And they just traumatize a little child and call them an animal.
Like, bro, like, chill. Like, she's like, yo, no, like,
it's an impossible way to live.
Absolutely.
Right. A simple look at the cop saved that. But so we come to find out, and this is another way. I feel like this show might some awards for actors and actresses, but its special effects might get awards as well too.
Oh yeah,
man!
Because that
her people cocoon.
Right, that transformation scene reminded me of something out of The Fly, the Cronenberg remake. It reminded me of something out of American Werewolf in London. Like, it was some disgusting but awesome shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was wild.
I was hollering like, yo, there ain't no way.
Jaw dropped. I was sitting there with my jaw dropped watching this. I was like, what is this? What is this show?
And you feel like
I thought
Ruby for a
said
second.
that same thing. I was like, nigga, what is this show you got me watching? What is this? What is this shit? What is happening?
I was just like, that's some nasty shit.
Absolutely.
Yo. She's all, I don't want to die. And then he stabs her. And like, I was like, no.
But my thing is, how does that work? Because that looked like something that will stab you deep. And this is a fuller sized woman than the woman. I just didn't understand how the physics work. But of course, it's magic. So I guess exactly.
Magic.
Exactly.
Can't even explain it.
But at the same,
go ahead.
No, Travis, you go ahead.
It was when the brother like meets up with her the next day. It's like, or just what do you want to do? Are you gonna when you have the choice? And I mean, like, I watched that one with my mom too, and it kind of raises a really tough question. Like, in a time where, you bump into a white woman wrong and you die, and you have the choice to live without that fear, what do you do? That's exactly the choice that Ruby got, and I mean, it's hard to blame her.
Honestly, that's the difficult question that oftentimes, like, our mixed race folks that could pass had to deal with. And, like, I feel like there are a lot of folks that judge people really harshly if they can pass as white and reap some of those benefits and privileges. But, I'm not saying that I would take the green pill or whatever color pill that is,
It
the
was
white
red.
pill. I don't know if I would take. I don't know if I would take that pill, but when, like you said, like we talked about earlier, when the slightest inconvenience or wrong kind of step leads to death, or to lack of opportunity, or being devalued when you have a lot to offer. It means the difference between life and death. It means the difference between a life well lived or one that's always in, under the thumb of horrors. It's difficult to say that, oh, they should always choose to be black, but that's not the way that society was kind of crafted. And so my thing is that, like, you have to, really just understand, people's shoes, and, what they choose or choose not to do is whatever they choose, whatever they think is the most beneficial for them and their family. Like, there's that story of, I forgot the guy's name, but he was basically like I think like a reporter or something like that. And he was able to pass, and, his kids didn't realize until later that, oh, we black, as they started to kind of investigate more. And after as he was passing away, like, kind of revealed the truth. Or people like Carol Channing, like, yeah, her, like, she was black, but she was able to pass. And so there are a lot of those stories from that era, of people that were able to do that. But then there's also, your lighter skinned people like your Langston Hughes and other folks that, or, even, I don't know, Frederick Douglass or other folks that, like, were very light skinned and, could have lived a life that was full of privilege, but they chose, like, nah, I'm here for the fight, and I'm gonna do it regardless, even if I do look light skinned. So,
and I think
that's all.
No, go ahead, Aaron. Finish your
just one quick thing, and that also, just continues to complicate this conversation about race when you have these people that have been revealed lately that are these academics who have been revealed to be freaking white.
If it wasn't already hard to be a
I was gonna
white
bring that
black
up too.
It's like,
it's just like,
man, it's disgusting. Like, it's like Paul Mooney said, everybody want to be a nigga
until you got to be a nigga.
Right. That's that being black when it's inconvenient, and, like, that whole subject really rings close to home, man. Because, like, if I'm not asserting my blackness at inconvenient times, you know what I mean, I could definitely end up on that side of the fence, because I'm like Prince light, you know what I'm saying?
right.
Like, fucking, like, I don't know how else to put it. Like, I'm the legendary shade walker when I shave my hair and shit like that. Like, so I have to assert my blackness when it comes time. And I think that's kind of the realization that Ruby had throughout the episode, because she kept trying to relate to the girl at the store until she just got sick of her and contempt with her because of the qualifications issues and all that.
Right. And then if you look at Ruby's character leading up to this episode, she's the type that's like, oh, if I just work hard, I'll get to where I want to go. Y'all should do it how I do it. They keep looking down on us, so we just got to work hard and we'll get there. But as we're learning now, they don't care if you in a suit, if you got multiple degrees. They don't care if you're hood. They don't care if you're suburbs. If you're black, they're already prejudging you on who you are.
Right.
Yep.
And to your point, Travis, she learns that as the episode goes on. Because at first, she's just happy to have the job, wearing skin. She's just happy to have the job, happy to be. Then she sees the black employee that got the job over her a few episodes before, and she's talking to her, trying to give her tough love to kind of do better in her job. And then, like you said, when she finds out from the supervisor that it was essentially a quote-unquote affirmative action hire, she just loses it and becomes that asshole white boss. So she actually becomes privileged in a way and holds that privilege over her.
Yep.
And it's not until they all go out, and I really don't understand why she chose to make her invite all of them to that Chicago club. That was weird to me. And it was kind of jarring too, seeing her backstage with all those white women and them kind of wanting to quote unquote go on like a safari.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of, it touches on how racist the fetishization of black people actually is.
Right. And how they love the culture, but they don't love us.
Yep.
Right.
And then it's not until Ruby sees the what seems to be the buttoned up supervisor be a total creep to the other black employee that she realizes whatever skin I'm in, I'm still black at the end of the day.
Right.
And then
she decides to be black at the inconvenient time and fuck that dude's life up.
Right. With the on the nose Cardi B playing.
He'll never be the same.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
That was low key when the music kind of took me out of it, but at the same
exactly
time,
same here.
This actually really works, and I'm okay with this.
But you know what I thought
it was actually you know what took me out of it? The stiletto in the ass. That's what took me out.
Oh yeah. But you know what I
cracked up.
What I thought was gonna happen, and this just shows how my mind is way out there. I thought she was gonna morph into a white man and rape him.
Oh, that also.
That's wild.
Right. So I was way out there with that.
Right. See, what had me fucked up was the heaps of white woman flesh falling around.
And my thing is, where does it go? Like they seen, there's just white people skin on the ground. We should investigate this. Like, what happens to it? And then there's a part where she
how do you even move on from there?
Right? Does it magically disintegrate? I am confused.
That's what I assumed.
Right, and then she takes it home for one scene. Like she had it with her. And then that also leads to another saw coming that the butler helper whatever, what is his name,
the brother Braithwaite.
Well, he's not a Braithwaite, he is labeled
the butler
as a butler or a family helper, a personal friend of Samantha,
close friend of
the one who gives Ruby
I can't remember his name.
Well, I mean, in the end, it turns out to be Christina.
William, there we go, William. Yeah. So, William turns out to be Samantha, which I actually saw coming. Not from I couldn't call it from episodes past, but that scene, I just felt like something was off. And I'm like, he's fucking Samantha. Well, not like he's actually Samantha.
Christina.
Where did I get Samantha from?
I don't know.
You think a witch or some shit like that.
Yeah, like she's a witch. Kinda. Yeah.
Right.
Christina.
It tracks.
Christina. So,
and
then that just made me think Christina, Christina fucked her. Was that something she did just to get in her head, or did she want to know what it was like to be a man and sex? I had so many questions after that too.
My God.
Unfortunately, that was the second place my mind went. Damn, they had sex. Oh shit!
Right.
I said that too.
Which reminds me, that sheriff that was wearing black flesh.
Oh shit! Yeah. I need to know the story behind that, because that shit is crazy. And he had the guy just in his closet.
Mm-hmm. Just dying in there, having a good old time.
Right, just hella blood coming, seeping out of him. It was gross. Yeah. And I want to know what she put in his drawer. What kind of magical shit is in there?
I need to watch the episode again, because...
Right, you see, when she's hiding in the closet, he takes off his jacket, and he has, black skin, sewed onto him.
It's crazy. It reminds... I forget who the dude was, but he was in General Hospital. He did the speech on BET where they want to wear our skin, but not, live our pain type of shit.
Jesse Williams.
Oh, Jesse Williams, yeah.
Jesse Williams. Jesse Williams. That's kind of what it made me think about, because that dude was the most racist, other than the cop who got eaten and then became a monster, he was the other racist cop where they slammed Letty around in the truck and all that
Right,
shit.
right.
Yeah.
Because he's desperate to be in that cult, but for some reason he can't ascend to the level he wants to be.
Maybe he's the Klan trying to be the dude that they
I was
don't
about
that
to
they hang out
Probably.
with for once.
I was about to
Probably.
say, is the cult the country club?
Probably.
You too poor to be in the country club.
That's probably what it is.
Hey, Christina herself said the Klan's too poor. He's probably one of those dudes.
Exactly.
I believe
Exactly. So
She sure did throw it in his face that like, and when did you get your membership? I don't
Right.
think you do. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh. We came to play.
Oh man, that episode was wild.
yeah, that's
wild.
definitely probably the best. Episode 3 and episode 5 are probably my favorite episodes so far.
Same here.
Yeah. I liked episode 2 a lot because of Whitey on the Moon, and then to me it ended like a lot of confrontations that the RZA went through in the Wu-Tang show. Like they were trying to open up Eden, and I was just like, "We are the original man." Was like all I was thinking of. What's your daily math? Peace, God. Yeah, get him. Like,
And everybody died.
everyone except Tick.
Everybody except Tick. Man.
Tick ran out of that house like the Joker ran out of the hospital in The Dark Knight.
I'm out.
Pushing the button multiple times.
Right.
Why won't you
All right,
blow up?
So overall, Marcus, how would you say that you feel about Lovecraft Country so far, halfway through?
I would say it's another hit for HBO. It's another hit for us Black genre fans. Not to really compare the two because they're completely different shows, but I will say it hasn't quite hit the level that Watchmen hit. But I will say that Watchmen kind of fell flat in its finale, so maybe Lovecraft Country can make up ground there. But it's just another show that I love. Black folks doing fantastical shit. I love that. I want to see more of it. Hopefully this leads to more.
All right. Aaron, how about you?
I love it, and I'm trying to get as many people to watch it as possible. Because I think like even if this genre isn't necessarily your thing, it's like the exposure of it from the Black vantage point I think is important. That because we haven't seen ourselves in these areas, that if you see us, it's kind of like now you can really decide whether or not you like it. Because, in other, fantasy things or horror things, where we're killed first or we're not present at all or whatever. And so the aversion to it is probably because of that. Now you get to really, make the determination now that you can see yourself in it of whether or not you like it or not. So like I'm trying to expose people to it, and I love it. And there's a lot of weird stuff going on, of course, but I think like I'm here for the ride. I'm here for whatever happens at the end.
Facts.
Oh, most definitely. I'm 100% invested.
Yup. How about you, Andre? How you feel about it so far?
This ain't my genre, but you gonna make it my genre. I'm 1,000, like they say on Maury, I'm 1,000 million billion % sure I love this show.
Yeah.
I love this show. It keeps making me think. It keeps making my jaw drop. I gotta call people in the middle of the night, like, yo, explain this shit to me. Because I'm so simple minded. I'm just like, what the hell did I just watch? Like, for real. But I love it. I'm seeing a lot of people on my timelines loving it. So it just gives me more people to talk about this show with. So I'm invested.
Facts. I feel the same way. I'm fully in love with the show, and like I don't know. I live in the sticks, so I thought I was, the smart guy in the sticks, thinking talking about this show. But you guys have kind of blown my mind about this show a couple times tonight. Whew.
Yeah,
it's a lot to take in.
It's a lot to take in, and I
Most
think
definitely.
I do honestly think that this is going to be a heavy contender in the next year's Emmys, especially if Watchmen is pretty much taking every category that matters already.
And I think, like you said, it's a very heavy show. A lot of people I know watch the episodes multiple times so they can try and catch everything.
Yeah, it's jam-packed with content, and if you blink,
Right.
you're definitely going to miss it.
Yeah.
Right.
so yeah, you should really look up and I say I don't know who exactly is in charge of it, but they're creating these syllabi for each episode. And even if you just want to look at it, like, it's really well put together, and it brings together other resources and stuff like that, as syllabus creating folks do. And one is getting created like with each episode. So literally just type in to Google Lovecraft Country syllabus and it'll pop up. But like, that's been like some stuff I already kind of know, but it's just good to see it in one place. And they always start each syllabus with like, just to let you know, we're unapologetically black and we're here for all the black things that are happening in the show, as am I. So yeah, just want to put a plug out for that.
Also,
We'll
HBO
definitely
has
check
an
that.
accompanying podcast for Lovecraft Country,
Yeah.
and also the folks that do For All Nerds, they do a podcast breaking down each episode of Lovecraft Country.
Yeah, support other black folks out
Right.
here doing it, bringing the knowledge forward, having
Support
dialogues
Black
and discussions.
podcasts. Support independently run podcasts.
Support this podcast.
Yes,
Support
most
this
importantly,
podcast.
Amen.
support Blerd Grounds and support On Comics Ground, 100%.
Facts. All right, so final thoughts. Marcus, hit me.
Watch Lovecraft Country. Please watch it. It's an amazing show. It features a lot of talented black folks that are ascending, as we know that Jonathan Majors is going to be Kang in the next Ant-Man movie. So this show is not only a great show just to watch on its own merit, it's also proving to be a launching pad for a lot of black talent.
Kang the Conqueror.
Yep. Kang.
Right.
Kang.
Kang, Kang.
I love that.
Kang, motherfucker. Kang.
I need a Kang with a kufi on. And you know what? He's not that far off because
Make that
Kang
happen.
was like a pharaoh, so it can't be that.
Low key, like, it's just a different color. If you look at his
Right.
costumes, like, low key, he's already wearing one.
Right.
Right. High key, he's already wearing one.
I need him with a
Come at
kufi
us.
and an ankh on, and we're good to go.
Yeah. Give me the
Yes.
the Kente Centurion instead of the Scarlet Centurion.
Right.
Yes.
I need it.
I need them to Photoshop Kang next to Kang Manhattan.
Yeah.
And they both blue.
Yo.
Killing me.
All right. Dr. Jones, what are your final thoughts?
I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. You should be here for it. Support black folks. Support it all, man. We are present everywhere because, oftentimes we're foundational to all these things as well. So, like, keep the support coming and, enjoy. Because this is a rough time right now. It's hard to enjoy things. And although this show is hella weird and gory, love it, enjoy it. It's great.
Amen, my brother.
It really is. Andre, what about you?
Man, if this show does not win any and all types of awards at these Emmys or any type of creative visual awards, you won't need a gender reveal party to burn shit down because I'll do it for you. I will burn everything to this ground if this show does not win something. Like, yo, I don't watch this type of shit, so I like it. You have to like it.
Andre bringing that East-West heat.
Somebody has to. Niggas is fucking up.
All right. Then for me, as always, consume black media. We want more black creations. We have to consume black creations. That's how it happens. Sadly, we live in a capitalistic society, so please consume black creations as much as you can. If you want to follow us on Twitter or Instagram, it's at oncomicsground.com. Blerd Grounds Twitter is at Blerd Grounds. Facebook is oncomicsground or Facebook/oncomicsground. We're on Spotify, iTunes, and Pandora.
iHeartRadio,
Stitcher, and I think he said is it Google as well?
Google Podcasts, yeah, we here.
And Google Podcasts as well. All right, y'all. Out.
Peace.
Peace.
Did it work? No, Craig's still here.
Bye, Craig.
Craig, get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out, Craig.
Get the fuck out, Craig.
You've been fucking up already.
Uh-oh. I need to call James. Hey, kick Craig out.
Oh, we're going to have some hilarious outtakes.
Right now. Right here, right now.
Just a whole extra 30 minutes of silent, random noises.
All right, RBG.
Definitely. And the Democrats better not be a bunch of fucking cowards. They better do whatever dirty plays in the book to block that shit.
Yeah, we forgot to mention that. Notorious. Notorious.
I mean, did we really need to though?
I mean, she not black.
Exactly.
But,
and she has done some white women things when it comes to black issues.
Yeah.
Not saying that she's not a titan.
I was about to say, but still.
Maybe just not for this show.
Right.
Hey, if it was meant to be, would have did that shit. So
exactly.
Right.
We're good.
Right. But I agree. Yeah, when I saw that he was gonna nominate somebody, like not even a day after she died, I was like, what the hell?
We're fucked.
I'm like, no, Mitch.
Because you
said no.
You know the Democrats are going to be cowards and try and say, "Oh, you try to do by the rule of law, but you know the GOP just doesn't want to cooperate." Well, what the fuck are you going to do?
Right.
And they're going to be like, "Well, that's why the people fucking work for us. You're supposed to handle that shit.
Right.
Don't look to us to bail your